The landlocked country of Bolivia is located in the heart of South America and is roughly 3 times the size of Montana. Its population of over 11 million people is considered to be the poorest in South America. Bolivia is a beautiful country full of diverse landscapes, which vary from the snow-capped mountains of the Andes to the low-lying jungles of the Amazon. Those that call this country home are just as diverse as its landscapes. Although Spanish is the main spoken language, there are over 36 different indigenous ethnic groups throughout Bolivia, many with their own cultures and languages. Since its liberation from Spain in 1825, Bolivia has been a land of political unrest and turmoil. In less than 200 years of history, it is estimated to have experienced around 190 attempted coups. Along with political turmoil, Bolivia's people face serious economic hardships. The average monthly income is only $550 a month, but many Bolivians still just make $10 or less per day. In Bolivia, the legal working age begins at just 10 years old, and because of the low family incomes, around 30% of children in Bolivia are forced to work to help support their families. These jobs can vary from selling things on the street to the dangerous job of working in the silver mines. Not only is Bolivia a country filled with turmoil and poverty, but it also suffers from a deep spiritual poverty. Much like the rest of South America, over 76% of Bolivians claim to be Roman Catholic. But the Catholicism that exists in Bolivia is very different from what you would find in Europe or the States. Many of their indigenous beliefs and rituals have been carried over and mingled with the Catholic teaching. One example of this mixing of faiths is the worship of Pachamama, or Mother Earth. Still widely practiced throughout Bolivia, the worship of Pachamama takes place as part of many Catholic festivals and holidays. Despite all their religious efforts, Bolivians are still hopelessly lost in darkness. The country is plagued by the highest domestic abuse rates in South America, and it is estimated that about 70% of women and children have experienced some form of abuse in their homes. Looking to fill their void, many Bolivians turn to drugs and alcohol. And trapped in this vain religion, the vast majority of Bolivians have not yet come to know the peace and love that only our God can bring. The people of Bolivia have been blinded by the God of this world and need to see the light of the glorious gospel. My name is Jacob McKinney, and God has called my wife, Shara, and I to go to the needy country of Bolivia. We are sent out of Tidewater Baptist Church, located in Chesapeake, Virginia, and have partnered with Worldwide New Testament Baptist Missions. My wife and I both had the privilege of being raised in Christian homes and were saved at an early age. God brought us together in marriage in 2009, and just 1 year later, we had the unique opportunity to spend 3 months in La Paz, Bolivia with my grandparents, Rudy and Nancy Wolf, who had served there as missionaries for almost 30 years. During those 3 months, we began to form a love for the people of Bolivia and began to feel God's call towards missions. We had many opportunities to minister in ways such as teaching, preaching, organizing church events, and even helping with some construction projects. We left Bolivia with a renewed vision for me to finish my studies at Tabernacle Baptist Bible College in Virginia Beach and to begin to prepare for whatever God had for us. Throughout the next several years, we had many opportunities to serve in our church at Tidewater Baptist and eventually moved into the role of youth leaders in 2014. In the summer of 2016, God unexpectedly opened the door for us to return to Bolivia on a mission trip with our youth group. We were able to help in the ministry of Adeli Pardo, a national pastor and church planner in the city of Santa Cruz. God blessed our time there and allowed us to conduct a children's program in the small village of Santa Rosa. During this time, God really confirmed His call to Bolivia in our lives. We were invited to return several months later for a survey trip by the Murray family, who are missionaries in the Santa Cruz area. During that visit, in the spring of 2017, we had the chance to visit several cities and spent time praying about where God would have us begin. After prayer and consideration, God has made it clear that He would have us spend our first term in the city of Santa Cruz. It is our desire that upon our arrival to Bolivia, God would help us accomplish several goals. Our first goal is to complete language school so we can effectively share God's word with the people. Another goal during this time will be completing all of the necessary paperwork to stay in Bolivia. Lastly, while working towards these other goals, God seems to be opening the door to serve under a veteran missionary who will be planting a church right outside the city of Santa Cruz. Our ultimate future goals are to plant indigenous, Bible-believing churches in areas of need throughout Bolivia, discipling new believers, and the training of national pastors. Without the prayers and support of local missionary-minded churches, we would be unable to take God's word to Bolivia. There are several ways in which you can help us as we follow God's call. First, would you please pray that God will open their eyes to the gospel and that God would use our family to effectively communicate His love and truth to the people? Secondly, would you please consider financially supporting our family so that we can go and minister to the needy people of Bolivia? They desperately need to hear the truth, and we hope that you will consider partnering with us so that we can go and share with them the light of the glorious gospel.
Many grope in darkness, searching for God's light, blinded by their sinfulness, lost in the night. Will you go and tell them of God's love divine, searching for the lost man, for God's love to shine?
soul.